Peoria, Illinois was good. Peoria and beyond, greater Peoria area. You know I rock with all y'all, man. This is Mark Supreme, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in to RapPolitics. In this episode, man, we got good lineup for y'all, good content. We got Kamal Bolden and Peoria County Auditor Jessica Thomas on deck for y'all today. So I appreciate y'all tuning in because y'all could have been scrolling anything else, but y'all here with Peoria Journal Star and myself, and we appreciate it. Of course, today's episode is brought to you by Sherman's, where they care. Look. I've been saying this for how long? Look, it's plenty of places to get a job at. Everybody hiring. The PPP money finna run out. If you need a gig, the best spot to go to is a spot where they don't care if you went to college or not. They don't care if you got the degrees. If you went to college, they don't really care if you finished. All they care about is that you got good values and that you follow their core values, and they promote within. So that's what's going to get you ahead at Sherman's, man. ShermansCareers.com is what you want to log into to check out the openings and apply online. Now, I'm still getting feedback from Sophisticated Ratchet. I ain't going to stop talking about that just because it is what it is. It was just so lit. Hey, Mary Moore, what's good? Hey, shout out to Mary. Look, first of all, Mary, while I got you here, I just want to highlight the fact that you was, and I meant to post this on Facebook, best dressed in my opinion. Like, you did that. So, but shout out to you for doing all the makeup and make sure that the models is good and everything else. But man, if y'all didn't see Mary's pictures from the night of Sophisticated Ratchet, make sure y'all peep that because she definitely did it with the Yeezys. I seen you with the little Yeezys. And then of course, Patience, what's happening? So look, a couple things we got to come across before we jump into Jessica Thomas and Kamal Bolden. First of all, if y'all been paying attention to the NBA, the real season is getting ready to start in 5 days. Preseason has already begun. Now here's the thing. So Kyrie and the Nets are the favorites to win the entire championship. We already know this. They got the big three in Harden, Durant, and plus Kyrie. But now Kyrie doesn't want to take the vaccine. Okay, cool. He didn't think he was going to have to. Now he's trying to make a decision for himself. And he said it yesterday after the Nets came to a decision that until he gets at least one shot, he will not be allowed to play and travel with the team because New York City, along with a couple other cities, are requiring vaccinations to be able to go into restaurants, bars, and clubs. In order for him to participate, he has to take a shot. He said, you know what? I didn't think I was going to have to. Let me think about it. A lot of people are calling it selfish. And at the end of the day, he just said, I'm just doing what's best for me at this moment, and I got to figure it out. Then Donald Trump, not the real one, Jr., come around talking about this was the biggest, this move was bigger, it took more courage and took more sacrifice than what Kaepernick ever did. That's the thing. Now, Kyrie can do what he wants to. It's his choice, it's his body. He can play, he cannot play. It's really up to him. But to insinuate or insist or to suggest that what Kyrie is doing is tantamount to what Kaepernick did over the course of several years that impacted not only himself but his family to lose money in favor of support for the marginalized black community that gets affected or got affected through police brutality when he didn't have to say nothing and could have kept his job and been straight is just, I ain't gonna use that word. I ain't gonna say that one. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So look, Trump Jr., fam, nobody cares about what you have to say, fam, at the end of the day. And you were never voted for or drafted for. So, man, just let Kyrie do him. We're going to watch it regardless. We're going to see what happens. And then with Kyrie, too, this is a New York thing. He could potentially land somewhere else depending on what these negotiations look like. But to just even slightly suggest that this is any way comparable to what Colin Kaepernick sacrificed, I don't even want to talk about it, especially hearing from Junior. Second, man, I know y'all seen all this clapback. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't even want to touch it. I ain't. But look, this is the thing. Two things. So if you haven't watched the closer, you haven't heard about what's going on. Chappelle is facing pushback for the comments that he made on his Netflix special. People are calling for Netflix to pull the special off. There's going to be an organized walkout of Netflix employees, I believe, next week for comments that he made during the Netflix special. Now, it involved Black community and LGBTQ community, and he made a reference to the baby who actually shot and killed somebody at Walmart. We all know that story, and how it didn't affect him to that degree that he ended up getting affected when he went on stage and said those crazy remarks. The baby he was wilding for that one. There's two things we got to realize, because I watched it. Two things we got to realize. First of all, I see what Dave Chappelle was trying to say. Could he have said it better? Definitely, because when he said it, I was kind of lost because it didn't really go together. What he was saying was that, the baby can kill somebody, kill another black man, and it doesn't raise half of the hoo-ha than it did when he made some remarks on stage. First of all, Dave, those two incidents, it's like you can't even pull them together for real. It wasn't, I see where you was going, but like it didn't really, before even all the backlash happened, I was watching like, that's not really the same thing. He felt like he was in danger, so that killing was, I guess, on the back end deemed justified because he was getting robbed in front of his family, all that other stuff. And then it just wasn't the same thing. So that's on one end. On the other hand, though, what he was saying is essentially he was underscoring the unmitigated power of the LGBTQ community. Because at the end of the day, we see how powerful it is. They're organizing a walkout. Netflix special might be pulled, but the CEO of Netflix said he's not going to pull it. He's doubled down on that. But what he was trying to articulate is that a marginal community that's been marginalized and oppressed for decades has a huge amount of power. And he was speaking on that for being a black person, another community that has been marginalized for decades or even hundreds of years, depending on how deep you want to go. So, and he said it on the special. He said, look, I'm jealous because y'all got some power. And the LGBTQ community does indeed have the power. But Dave Chappelle, it wasn't the same thing. Even when I was watching at first, it wasn't the same thing. But what Dave Chappelle got to realize, even though it's a free country, you can say what you want, you can do what you want. And as a comedian, he has a little bit more leeway than most folks and say what they want to say. But what Dave got to understand too is that he be pushing the boundaries on some of the comedy. And when you do that, you got to be prepared for whatever comes back on a backlash point. If your comedy special gets pulled, if it costs you some advertising dollars, if you lose some money, whatever. It's like another comedian once said, and it's Cat Williams, who is, by the way, funnier than Kevin Hart. But he said, if you get on that horse, you gotta ride it. So Dave Chappelle, you can say what you want, but once you get on that horse, it is what it is. So look, we got Peoria County Auditor Jessica Thomas. I was gonna say in the building, but we got her on virtual though. It's kind of the same thing. And she has is a vote that just happened, or I think it's a rally that just happened. She gonna give us the breakdown. Peoria County Auditor Jessica Thomas. Jessica, was good.
Hello, how are you, DeMarcus? Thank you for having me on. Yeah, so we just had a rally.
Apostrophe too, man. You somebody different. You get to say DeMarcus. Don't nobody even know that. Don't nobody even know that. They don't know that.
I got you in the phone as DeMarcus. You DeMarcus.
Let's go.
Got your whole government name.
There was just a rally at the Peoria County courthouse.
Yeah. So
what happened? What's going on?
So AFSCME, the union, had held a rally at 5 o'clock in front of the courthouse before the county board meeting. I had to step away from the county board meeting to come do this interview with you. That's still going on. So the vote hasn't taken place as of yet, to my knowledge. But AFSCME had a rally to support the 3 union women who are proposed to lose their job if this budget passes that the county board has to vote on tonight. So if it passes, then I'll lose my entire staff out of my office, and that will leave 3 union employees without jobs.
And how are they coming to this decision? How does this impact not only your office and those employees, but how does this impact the county of Peoria?
It impacts the county of Peoria greatly. For one, it ignores the will of the people. And if you don't recall, you probably do, but in 2018, in the primary, we elected to keep this office. So the referendum was defeated and we elected to keep this office of county auditor. We wanted it to be elected, not appointed, and we wanted it to be answerable only to the people so we could have a sense of independence of our audits of the Peoria County tax dollars and to ensure no waste, fraud, or abuse is taking place. So that was already voted on by the people. The people voted me, elected me to serve them as their county auditor. But unfortunately, since I've been in office for the last 3 years, I haven't been adequately funded. the operational abilities of my staff have been hindered, and it makes it really hard to do the job of the county auditor. And so now they're proposing to pretty much eliminate my office, with the exception of me, because they can't get rid of me outside of an election. So if the budget passes, the office of the county auditor will pretty much be very much stagnated in our efforts to thwart or prevent any waste, fraud, or abuse, and looking over any of the money, including the ARPA funds, that the American Rescue Plan funds that the Peoria County government has gotten from the federal government.
And you said this vote is to take place tonight?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And this will effectively immediately eliminate those other workers in your office?
As of January 1. So the budget year takes place January 1. So they're voting on the budget currently right now that would take place as of January 1.
And just to make it clear, you kind of touched on it, but for the people that might have voted or might not have voted in the last election, or even for the 2018 situation, what is your job and what is your duty to the taxpayers in Peoria County?
Yeah. So my job in a nutshell is that I'm the independent auditor. So when I say independent auditor, it's an internal audit function. So my job has the authority and the power to go and look at any department and office under Peoria County umbrella who gets Peoria County tax dollars, to ensure they're not misappropriating your money, giving money to friends and contracts to friends and things of that nature. So I'm pretty much like the internal investigation unit of a department. So I ensure that whatever monies that we're granted from taxpayers are used for taxpayer purposes only, and for the benefit of the people. We have a saying in our office, what would the taxpayer say? So we look at every claim against the county with that lens of what would the taxpayer say? How does this benefit the people of Peoria County? And if there's no clear way that it benefits the people of Peoria County, those claims are questioned and most likely denied from payment, if they do not benefit the people of Peoria County.
And so as a lay person or a taxpayer that may or may not be engaged in government, if you are to lose these two employees, how does that impact the average person that may or may not be paying attention to what's going on?
Well, it's actually losing 3 employees. So what that will hinder is that will pretty much stall probably like about 80 to 90% of our operations here in the office. So it would just be me answering phone calls, me answering emails, and me left doing the compliance and operational audits for 29 departments, which is a almost impossible feat. I would say impossible feat for one person to accomplish. It was very hard for us to get that accomplished with just 2 staff people. So I did bring on a 3rd staff person, and that we have a lot of departments and a lot of things to look through. Our general fund is millions of dollars, so that's a lot of revenue and expenditures to audit, and so that makes it impossible for us to get our job done and serve the people of Peoria County.
Talk about some of the functions that your office does when it comes to contracting out work and how your office impacts some of that.
Well, you're talking about vendor contracts? Yeah. So if for Peoria County, we have a threshold of $20,000. So if we pay a vendor over $20,000 a year, they must have a contract. So they must go through a fair non-compete bid process. And so well, not non-compete, a fair bid process, an open bid process. So our job is to make sure that a fair contract has been had, that it has been let out for bid, and that no contracts sweep underneath the rug, underneath that $20,000 threshold to get money from the county without actually going to an open fair bid process.
What would be your call out to people that are engaged, people that did vote for you? You said the vote is coming up tonight. What would be your call to your supporters?
My call to the supporters will just stay engaged. I love the fact that people voted and elected me in office, but what we really, really need is people stay engaged. My goal as a county auditor is to keep the people engaged. We're working on some things with a more accessible Peoria County website. Once the pandemic kind of settles down a little bit, we can safely rejoin the public with in-person meetings. We'll have some more town halls. But what I would say to the people is to stay engaged and actually hold all your elected officials accountable. What's occurring right now is a violation of the Illinois state statute as it regards to the county auditor's office. We need to call on our state's attorney to ensure that the law of Peoria County is being upheld fairly. And we need to call on our county board members to ask them to pretty much follow the law and respect your vote and keeping this office elected.
So you mentioned Illinois state statute. So is that to suggest that this vote, and depending on which way it sways, this vote would be almost illegal?
The county board has a budgetary authority, but the budgetary authority is supposed to be reasonable in an amount so I could do my statutory duties. It's impossible for me to fulfill my statutory duties alone with just myself. So if they vote to eliminate my staff and then they illegally already took duties at the office, yes, they're breaking the law.
Wow. So heavy stuff. And so the vote goes on tonight. Is the rally still going on? Can people still come out or no?
No, the rally ended, so everyone came up to do public comments at the county board meeting. So the way the public can get engaged, is get involved, is to follow Peoria County Auditor on Facebook and all of our social medias, Instagram, Twitter. We created a website solely for this matter. It's called protectpublicdollars.org. And so if you go to protectpublicdollars.org, you'll find all the information from the county budget to the Roland Burris opinion, because Roland Burris was the attorney general back when Kevin Lyons was the state's attorney. And Kevin Lyons wrote Roland Burris to ask him if they could do the very thing that they're doing today. And Roland Burris told them in no uncertain terms, you cannot do that. It's illegal. It's breaking the law. And so that the law has not changed since that Roland Burris opinion was filed. And so what we're asking people is to take time, read it. It's like 6 to 7 page read, very easy read, to update you on what they asked to do back in 1991 and what they're currently doing now, and how they're breaking the law, and they're doing it under the auspice that people don't know what the law is. People don't know what their rights that are afforded to them. I work for the people directly. I do not work for the county board. I do not work for any other department. I work directly for the people to protect public dollars. And that's the power that the people should protect. And that's the power within my office that the people should fight for.
For people to get some more information on this, where can they go?
They can go to our Peoria County Auditor Facebook page. They can go to protectpublicdollars.org is the website that we created solely for this matter. And you could follow Peoria County Auditor on Instagram and Twitter. We also post there as well.
Peoria County Auditor Jessica Thomas, thank you for coming in to RapPolitics and rapping with us real quick.
Thank you for having me. You guys have a good evening.
Peoria County Auditor Jessica Thomas, y'all, right there. Okay, feature for tonight, man. We got this dude. So look, man, dude who we got coming up, man, he cold, man. He cold. So not only is he an actor, but dude is like, he act, but he for real act. Like you can see his stuff somewhere else. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be, I'll be actor, get on, you know what I'm saying? No, you can see his stuff. Dude been on Rosewood, been on NCIS, had a snapshot of Insecure, just real quick. He was on Insecure, like real quick. Keys to the City, Elvis and Nixon, a bunch of plays, and most recently, Vacation Friends, which you can watch right now on Hulu with Lil Rel, John Cena, and all them. And he from the P. And best of all, he went to Central. Y'all click that like button. Y'all click that love button. Gut up in the comments, man, for Kamal Bolden. Kamal, was good.
Hey, what's up, my man? What's good, Mark?
So, man, look, you got all your little projects in the background, man. You fly with it. You fly with it. Peace to the back there. You know what I'm saying? Fly with it.
Yeah, I stay in Hobby Lobby. It's all good.
Hey, look, man, love it. So, what's been going on, man? You from the P? You out of LA? You just got done with or in the middle of Vacation Friends? Got done with it on Hulu. What's been going on? What's the grind been like?
Oh man, the grind has been crazy, man. I mean, it's been nonstop, even with the pandemic. You know, we didn't really like grind to a halt like we thought we would. One thing about entertainment, man, is that artists got to continue to keep the people fed. You know, that's how a lot of us made it through the whole Panasonic. Is we had stuff to watch, we had things to read. So a lot of auditions, man. And right now, I'm blessed to be on a show on AMC, 61st Street, coming out in That's coming out what? That's coming out in the spring. And then I'm shooting a television show called The Endgame on NBC, and that's going to be coming out in the spring too.
So that's the look. I remember when you was grinding, and I even put this in the caption. The Honda Accord days. Talk about the Honda Accord days in New York. You still got it?
Yeah, no, man. Somebody, they homicided that bad boy, man. It suffered a mean death, man, at the hands of a 22-year-old back in December. So I had the 2004 Honda Accord, man. It had about 296,000 miles on it when it got taken out the game. But
they'll get you there.
Oh yeah. I'm a Honda man for life. Yeah. Trust me, a Honda. So, man, I remember when I was working in corporate America right out of school. I went to Bradley, right? So I went to Bradley. I went down to Nashville, Tennessee. I was working in corporate America, and then shout out to Alicia. I just seen a comment. So when I decided to pursue my career, I saved up all the money I had in corporate America working at Hertz Rent a Car as a manager, and I went out and I bought that bad boy for cash. I bought the black on black. I named her Sada Shakur.
Okay.
And I rode it, the wheels fell off. You know what I'm saying?
But it's more to the story though, because it was nights in New York where like Asada was actually the crib.
Man, you know what's crazy about that? That wasn't New York though. New York, man. New York was the train, man. That was Chicago.
Okay.
That was Chicago, man. That was crazy times, man. One thing about the whole acting game and when you're chasing your dreams, it's gonna come with a lot of tests. And one of the tests I had was when I moved from Nashville to Chicago, which was like a bigger pond, right? So I'm in this bigger pond, and luckily I had family to kind of help me through it. I was staying with family and stuff like that. But money started to run out. All that money I had saved in my corporate job, man, that was gone. You know what I mean? Pockets was bare, just lint. And I never forget.
At this point, you're on audition grind, right?
I'm on the audition grind crazy. And a lot of times when it came to the auditions, man, I would have to like drive different places, sometimes out of town. Like I would have to go to Atlanta for auditions and things like that. And I couldn't afford a hotel room. So what I would do a lot of times is I would dip off to a hotel, like an actual hotel, right? That was like well lit. And I had blankets in the back. And instead of checking into the hotel, I'd walk in there, use the bathroom in the lobby, blow that bad boy up, then come back out and park the Honda right by the hotel where, I could be seen just in case anybody came through with a jack move. So a lot of times, man, I was staying at Holiday Inns, but I wasn't in the Holiday Inn. I was outside that bad boy.
Yeah, Holiday parking lot. That's crazy.
So
a couple things we want to break down because I call this entertainment week at this point. On Monday we had De La Monte, who's also from Peoria, who also went to Central, currently signed to Grand Hustle, major. Right. And now we got you, who's also in the movie. So entertainment in general. So it's entertainment week. What I like to do when I talk to individuals that have literally went from the bottom to where you're at is I want to talk about the gap. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people just say, "Oh man, I woke up." You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they just asking me to be there on NCIS, and now I'm on Netflix with John Cena. Like so, from the beginning to the end, you went to Bradley, graduated, got on what hurts, but then at a certain point, you was like, "All right, look, let me jump." At a certain point, you jumped. Talk about that jump. What made you jump? And at what point can you, for those people that are sitting at their job, because we've seen a record number of people leaving their jobs throughout this pandemic, which is crazy because at a moment where there's so much uncertainty, people don't care and they still leaving their jobs to go do something they're passionate about or something they love. But when do you know when you're at that point? And when did you know when you was like, all right, look, Hertz is cool. I know I can move up. I know I could probably make 100 racks eventually, maybe even sooner than most, but I'm about to leave anyway. When do you know is that point?
Man, that's a great question, bro. That's why they got you doing this. That's a great question, man. Real quick on that.
I just want to know. There's a whole bunch of people ready to quit.
Real quick on that whole thing in terms of this reckoning and what we're seeing with a lot of people not returning to the jobs that they had pre-Panini God moves in a lot of different ways, in mysterious ways, but in also very poignant and profound ways. So we lost over 700,000 lives just in this country alone, right? And that's a terrible thing. So, my heart goes out to anybody who lost anybody while we're still in this pandemic, right? But there's always a silver lining around everything. And I think a lot of people figured out when they had that time to sit at home that they were not living in their purpose. They were not living, they were dead on the inside. They were just maintaining, and they had more than enough time, not just a week off of work, not just 2 weeks off of work. They had enough time to really say to themselves, man, if I go back to that, I'm going back to, I've gotten off the plantation, if I can take it that way. I'm not going back there. You see what I'm saying? And my hat goes off to them. I know right now I can't get a seat at a restaurant, it's low staffed and all that other stuff. But that I'm glad people are out there finding their true purposes and finding other ways to live, But in terms of when I knew, bro, I never forget. I was working at Hertz Rent-A-Car, right? And I was busting. I was killing Hertz. I was about 25 years old at the time, coming straight out of Bradley. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. My girl is at Tennessee State University. I got an apartment about 3 minutes away from where I'm working out in Antioch. I done made my way from assistant manager to manager in about 3 months. I'm in there humping. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to work for Enterprise when I was in college.
Right.
So at the Hertz, I already knew the game. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't. I had no learning curve. I was gone. And I'm from the P. The hustle is there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man. So when I get in there, I'm killing it. And I remember one night, as a manager, you get a free car. You get to drive anything you want on the lot. You get free gas, free insurance. I'm making 50 grand plus all those benefits, right? Those perks. And I get to the airport one night, about 10 o'clock. I'm about to get a car for another customer, one of my favorite customers, right? It's 10 o'clock at night. I never forget, this guy's name was Marty. He was the city manager. No, he was the regional manager.
Okay.
He's at the airport at 10 o'clock. He comes to me. He's like, come on, man. And I know he's looking at me in a certain way because I'm a young black man, too. He's like, man, what you're doing in this company, you're going to have my job within 4 years, man. You are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. All this good stuff. I appreciate it. I get back to the crib, go to sleep, do my thing. I wake up next morning, man. I go to work. I see an email from him, just business stuff that was sent about 4:30 in the morning. And I started doing the math. The math was mathing for me. I'm like, wait a minute. I saw you at the airport at around 10 o'clock. You live an hour away from the airport. You got a wife and kids, and you're sending emails at 4:30 a.m. I'm not doing that for Mr. Hertz. That's not what I look forward to doing. I'm not doing that for the Ford family, which used to own the company. There's no way. I'm working my way. I started seeing how people was losing their hair. Their belly was hanging over their belt. They're stressed. And I'm saying, man, you guys are working for somebody else's dream. You're working yourselves to death so somebody else can live out their dream. And I realized, oh, dang, I'm working here 13 hours a day. I'm driving 30 minutes at night to go do theater for free, but I feel more alive when I'm doing that theater thing. I need to pursue that theater thing. And that's when I went into my boss's office, the city manager, one day, and I said, hey, I booked a play. And this is what happened to you. It's always when you come to somebody with a major goal like that, or, life-changing thing, they don't see it the way you see it. He wasn't like, oh my God, you booked a play. He was like, a play? What? Play what? I said, a play. I'm going to be playing Jackie Robinson at the Nashville Children's Theater. Okay. What are you telling me for? I got to quit. This is my 2-week notice. They're going to pay you? I said, yeah, they're going to pay me.
I thought you was asking for a couple of days off. My bad. I thought you needed that Thursday or something.
No. I was going, no plan Bs, right? So I go in there and he says that, and he goes, how much are you going to pay? I said, $400 a week. He said, $400 a week. He said, listen, this was February of 2008. He said, I'm going to write on a piece of paper. He had a flair for the dramatics and histrionics. He said, I'm going to write on a piece of paper like they do in the mafia, what you're going to make your first quarter if you stay here. He slid it over to me. I took it just like in a movie. I looked at it, bro, and it said 15 racks. 15 racks.
In a quarter.
For a quarter. I'm already making 50 G's as the manager.
Yeah.
And immediately guys spoke to me. I spoke and I listened, and it was like, if I don't turn it down now, I never will. That's how they get you. No disrespect to anybody working a corporate job, but we all know how they get you. They get you with the incentives and the perks. I said, I ain't got no kids, I got no family. I got to do it now. And that's when I jumped out. Out right in there.
So, and for the people watching, because I know this would be my question, but how much bread do you got up on that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just, like, do you count it up? Do you know what I'm saying? Because look, or somebody like, I might have a kid or two, or you know what I mean? Like,
I had a few loaves. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple baguettes. I put it like this. I had about 27 G's saved up. I used to be real frugal with my money. You know what I mean? That's one thing that helped me as an actor, is to be very, very, mindful of how I spend it. And so I went and bought that Honda for $10,100. And the only reason I got it for that, because I would not leave that man's office until he gave it to me for 10-1. I mean, I was there until I helped him close the dealership that night. He was like, damn it, just take the car. Yeah. So I had about $16,000 left after that to live on. And that is not a lot of money to live on. And so I started hustling from then on. But I had faith. I knew I was stepping out on my purpose. So I would be taken care of.
And what year is this?
That's 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Okay. And so just from there, talk about getting into it. You did the Jackie Robinson play. Eventually, you landed in Chicago. Is it just straight auditions, or? And then I want to know: was there ever moments where you was like, "Man, I might have to go back to the P." You know what I'm saying? People, because Peoria has a lot of people, a lot of talent. We all know the people that have gone to the NBA, gone to the NFL. You're doing the acting thing yourself. People are, doing big business and things like that. But we want to chase those dreams. We leave, and then a lot of people end up coming back. What was it? What was the in between time for you, and just getting to the point where you can say, "I've been on Hulu"?
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with coming back. Mama always would take you in. I think that was an August Wilson play, man. She hate to see you coming, but she'd always take you in. Ain't nothing wrong with going back and resetting. You know what I mean? So while I that was my motivation to never have to go back and live at home, it was still good to be able to have that. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing to be able to have parents, or, to have family that you can go live with. Like I said, my Aunt Catherine and, or Aunt Kathy, when she's doing business, she's Kathy Beavers. Yeah. But my Aunt Catherine took care of me, you know what I'm saying, my first year when I was in Chicago. But my whole game plan was kind of like this. Coming up from the P, I've always felt like we had this chip on our shoulder. When I was, we growing up, it's like, we're not Chicago, and we tired of people being like, you say from Illinois, Chicago? Nah, there's other cities, right? So we always You feel me? And it's this thing of wanting to be respected. But I always felt like in our city, we feel like we gotta master or get our city behind us before we go to another city. And I kind of kept that same mantra going, like, yo, I'm not gonna go straight to New York. I'm gonna do my thing in Nashville until I feel like I've hit a ceiling. Then I'm gonna go to Chicago. I'm gonna do my thing there till I feel like I hit a ceiling. Then I'm gonna go to New York. Then I'll go to LA. So I was always on the grind. I was never trying to cut the corners. You know what I mean? I kept that whole burger on the Wendy's. I kept the square. I wasn't cutting that corner. I was like, I'm gonna keep grinding until people say, oh, I see you working. I see you doing this for real. You're not trying to be famous. You're doing the work. You feel me? And so, like you said, I didn't wake up and be on Insecure. I didn't wake up and get on to Vacation Friends. It's like, I've been at this joint for a minute, just like everybody else. The only way to lose in this game is to quit.
So talk about Vacation Friends. You on there with John Cena. You on there with who else on there? You on there with Lil Rel. You on
Lil
there
Rel.
with Yvonne. How you say it? Or
G. Yeah.
Okay. Yvonne Orji from Insecure. Did she remember? Did she remember you? Did she remember you from Insecure?
I think she blinked that day that I was on there. She you know what I mean? When I got in, she did this and I was gone. And she didn't remember me. But I definitely put in work, man. I got in on her good side while she was there. She was while we were filming, she was Emmy nominated. You know what I mean? Her book was coming out, all that type of stuff, man. So she was up there, man. She's been killing the game.
So talk about what is it like to be on that cast? Because like I said, I've been watching you since you was announcing things that you was doing, but people couldn't catch it, or you was doing something in a different city that people couldn't come and support you like they wanted to. But now you're in a position to where, you know, if you got a Roku, you can watch. If you got a smart TV, you can watch. And you got this all-star cast. I'm going to throw it up there real quick.
Through it, I see it, yeah.
Just like the people that I mentioned, but you on there too. You know what I'm saying? That's the cool thing. Like, you on there too. You know what I mean? Talk about
between Sleepy Brown and the Pringles man. Yeah.
You in there, though. You in there. What's it like being able to be in that position? And again, I just Googled this and you popped up. Sometimes people be in situations or productions and then you can't find, they ain't Googleable with that production. You're right here, but now what is that like? And is this for you is this the step up? Is this the elevation? Is this the elevation?
Man, listen, heaven's the limit. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like this is elevation. I feel like I'm getting up there. I ain't got a nosebleed yet. My ears ain't popped, but I'm ascending. You know what I'm saying? And when I booked it, I never forget, man. You know, this is my first like studio comedy in a sizable role. You know what I mean? And I just never had I had the dream, I had the vision, but the world, meaning the industry, because when you're in this industry, it becomes your world sometimes in a healthy and unhealthy way, mostly unhealthy way. But that's a whole another segment. We got to get on like calm.com or something.
Yeah.
But it was hard for me because I was booking work, but I wasn't booking the biggest roles. I wasn't booking the high profile things. And I went in for this, man. I went in for another role first, and I thought I murdered it. Like I thought I went in there and smashed it. And I guess I did because they called me back in, but it was like months later. So I go back out to like Santa Monica. I drive all the way out there from Burbank, and I go in the room, and they're rooting for me. They're giving me good energy. And I remember meeting one of my dudes outside, and I was like, bro, this role is yours. I was like, man, you fit the bill, bro. Like, this is all you. He was like, nah, it's all you. And like, we just big up at each other. And I just remember going back in the room and just like having all the fun I possibly could. I just realized it didn't really matter, man. I got to see my boy outside. I get to do what I do, you know, and every time I get to perform, even in an audition, it makes me feel alive, right?
Yeah.
And so when I booked it, bro, I had just turned down a big time TV role because they wouldn't pay me what I was worth. Major network, and they wanted me to work in Chicago, but they didn't want to pay for it. And I stood on my principles, man. I said, listen, this is a big role. I auditioned out in LA. You want me to come to Chicago? You don't want to pay me? This ain't, nah. They told me take it or leave it. So I left it. And that was like on a Thursday, bro. I was sick for about 7 days, just thinking, man, I should
like BET.
Huh?
Does it sound like BET?
Yeah, nah, it wasn't BET. It was a little more on them analog channels.
Okay. Yeah.
That major network money, right? But they weren't paying me the major network money, and I remember feeling sick about that. Like maybe I made the wrong choice. And sometimes when you make choices like that you felt come from your gut, and you feel you're choosing yourself, you're not used to doing it all the time. So it's like it sits funny in you. It's like indigestion. It's like you put something in your body that's foreign, you know? Like we're not used to always standing in our power. So when I stood in my power, I was like, oh, I started having like, you know, cognitive dissonance. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. And then about 2 weeks later, I got the call for Vacation Friends, man, and I cried like a big dog. And the crazy part about it, I was literally driving in LA in my 2004 Honda Accord when I got the call and I pulled over. It was actually raining that day, and it never rains in Southern California.
Right, I'm already knowing.
It was raining, a little sprinkle, and I just like opened a little sunroof on my car because that was the only amenity that still worked on that 2004 Honda Accord. And God is my witness, the sun literally came through the clouds. It stopped raining right then and there. And that was the first time I felt like I'm truly where I'm supposed to be. Like God was like, yeah, I know you have doubts. You keep second guessing it, but this is your purpose. You are in a studio film that, like you said, is no longer a play, which I still love, but it's in a different stratosphere. Like people can see it. It can open up other doors. You're going to have a great experience. And I called my family and I was like, we made it. And they were like, we made it. I said, yeah, because it don't matter what happens from here on. I've been affirmed by God that I'm where I'm supposed to be. So it don't matter if I act another day in my life. I can go drive trucks. I can get a CDL and be hanging out with the lot lizards. It don't matter. I know what God affirmed in me. He was like, yes, you can do this. You are an actor. You are talented. You have done what you're supposed to do. So I was like, it don't matter what happens from here on. I'm in my purpose. I'm good. If I was to do something else, it means God has shifted me to somewhere else.
That's a different level of self-actualization, though, that a lot of people I think don't have. And what's about that is a lot of people talk about being in purpose, but you find time trying to, and I'm an example too. I spend a lot of time just trying to find what that alignment looks like. You know what I mean? And of course, that can come from a lot of grinding. That can come from a lot of failure. That can come from sleeping in the Holiday Inn, but you in the Honda Accord. You know what I mean? For you, when you got to that point, is it like, is there anything else that you feel like you could have done better as far as like landing certain gigs or like not turning down certain things? Because my thing is sometimes it don't pay, sometimes it pays off. Was there any trepidation of, you know, maybe I needed that stamp from that network, or maybe I could get this experience in or something like that? But even though it turned out well.
Woo, that's a question right there, bro. That's heavy. Listen, do I feel that way? You know, every actor, I think, when we leave an audition, we feel like we could have done better in the audition. We feel like we could have executed a note or redirect better. There's always this hindsight of looking back and being like, what could I have done? What I've gotten, that can drive a person mad, first of all, because we live in the moment as actors first. So whatever happened in that moment was supposed to happen in that moment, even if it didn't work out for you later. Frat. This is what I came to realize is if my intentions and my work are based in what I am truly what I've found myself to be aligned with, and later on it feels like I could have done something better. It feels like that's just that phenomenon. It doesn't make it true. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, yeah, I mean, I feel like I could do this. I feel like, but I am where I'm supposed to be right now and nowhere else. I'm supposed to be here at this time. So like, I know you saw me post on the Instagram like a while back when I first booked this in-game thing, this big major pilot, my first series regular job. You know, being somebody that's been in the game 13, 14 years, you know, I felt like that was a long time coming. Like, man, I wanted that back when I was in year 5. I wanted that back when I was in year 6, but it wasn't supposed to be. Even if I would have done all these other things and hustled harder and all of that, it doesn't mean that's what I was supposed to have. I was supposed to have it right now. And I'm truly comfortable with that. I'm truly comfortable with that.
And I was going to ask you, do you ever feel like you were behind it all? Because I know you've seen other actors and performers maybe that started after you that hit boom. It's like, bro, I've been out here for 9 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and and it's crazy because as I'm doing that, like, what? Somebody looking at me going, what? You know what I mean? Like, is somebody looking at him going, what? Like, we all looking to somebody else going, how you get that so quickly or whatever. But I've learned, man, when I truly started to celebrate it and not celebrate it on some like signal celebrating, like fly just celebrating, like, yo, that's what's up, man, that's good. But recognize that I see myself in you. Because even though I may not know that dude, I may not know Yaya, who's Candyman and Aquaman and all that, I can understand from an actor's point of view, the brother went and put in the work. The brother's had a lot of no's in his time. He's been through the rejections and stuff. So it's like, how could I not celebrate that? Because we are one and the same. But everybody's path is different. Like I've been telling some of my mentees, you know, I had a crazy situation once, and I don't tell the story. I've never told the story like publicly, so I'm gonna tell it to Peoria. You know what I mean? I did a TV show called Major Crimes. I played like the lead guest, and the dude, I was a baseball player. I was a major league baseball player, which is crazy in and of itself because when I auditioned for it, I did my research on Major League Baseball players, and the shortest Major League Baseball player ever was like 5'11". I'm 5'9". Baseball pitchers. I said player. He was a baseball pitcher.
Okay.
The shortest Major League pitcher is 5'11", I think. Most pitchers is 6'7". Randy Johnson and my man that went to Vanderbilt, Price. I get into the audition with all the dudes we've seen on TV that are 6'11", 6'9", 6'5", 6'4", and it was my role to have. So I booked it, right? Now the guy playing my bodyguard is about 6'6" in real life. So me and him bond. We cool, we doing all this other stuff, man. He does his thing, he do his thing. Fast forward, I'm in Wales shooting an independent film. I post a picture of me.
Over there?
Yeah, over there.
What?
Yeah,
right.
no, yeah, behind that. Yeah. I'm in Wales. Oh. Yeah, right over there. Right.
All right.
So I'm in Wales, right, shooting this independent film, right? Not a major studio film. I post a picture of me. I had my hair long and sponged. I had a little beard going on, a little baby struggle beard, little Anthony Hamilton. So nothing like you, right? So I'm in there and I post it, and all these girls are like, "Ooh, you looking real M'Baku-ish. You looking like M'Baku." I'm like, "Who is M'Baku?" Because I'm in Wales. I'm like, "Who is M'Baku?" And then finally somebody was like, they tagged Winston Duke. I'm like, Winston Duke? What they talk about look like Winston? So that was the guy who played my bodyguard. So I'm like, why are they tagging me and Winston? What did Winston do? At this time, Black Panther hadn't hit Wales yet.
Oh.
So I go see it, and he eats as M'Baku.
Oh, yeah.
He eats.
Yeah, yeah.
I never forget, like, I'm like, yo, he murdered it. And then I did the actor thing. I go back to the crib, back to the apartment that they got me in. I go, dang, man, we did the same episode of TV. And he's in Black Panther. I'm doing an independent film. There's no question who got the better result of that episode. He went, and look at me. And I sat in that for about a day. And then, I don't know, God who slapped the hell out of me like, are you kidding me? You are in Wales shooting a film that they're paying you to be, and you got the nerve to compare yourself to what another brother is doing? You got the nerve to be that dense, that ungrateful? That's stupid. It's stupid. Because now I'm robbing myself of the fun and being in the moment and cherishing what God has given me in this moment because I'm looking at what's on another brother's plate. I'm letting my food get cold because I'm looking at what he eating. And I said, oh, that was a good moment for me. Like, I don't have any shame in saying that to people anymore because we're human. And I'm luckily I got out of that. You know what I mean? But that was a moment for me to realize, bro, where you're at is beautiful, man. Wales is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Lush greens, there's castles. I was going to London every weekend watching plays, which is my favorite thing to do. I'm traveling, I'm eating new food, and I had the nerve to be feeling like I was less than because I saw somebody else shining and eating. And that's why I was like, I'll never feel that way again. That's just dumb. That's just stupid. So, I don't feel that way anymore now. Anybody can come up. I don't care if you start acting. Literally, you can start acting tomorrow because I can tell you got skills. You're a jack of all trades and masters of many. And that's not me just gassing you up. I've always known it about you. If you start acting and you ask me for advice and I start giving you advice and I get you in my agent and you blow up a year from now, then I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, not only will I be happy for you, but I'm like, yo, I kind of had a little hand in that. I'm not going to take credit, but it'll intrinsically make me feel good because it's like, that was his purpose. That was Mark's purpose. He did all his other stuff, met me and did that. I'm not gonna be like, dang, man, how dude get it that quick? Like, that was God. That's what's supposed to be for you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy.
That was bars, man. Bars, straight bars, man. Hey, this is like drink champs. Fire, and I'm sure that touched somebody in there. So, hey, man, if you felt that story, man, that did something for you, man. Do the likes and loves in the in the thing. Do it in the thing, man. That's major, man. That's major. Appreciate you sharing that story. There's something else I want to holler at you about before we hit the lightning round. I cannot remember what it was. And if anybody has any questions for Kamal, we can hit those right now. If anybody got any questions, this ain't like news rap politics. This is podcast. Look, with you and DeLamonte earlier this week, it's been real podcasty. I didn't really write questions for neither one of y'all. I ain't talked to y'all in a minute, so I figured we'd just catch up on live right now and just see what it's been like. And you said you in LA right now. What advice would you impart on anybody that? And again, I know I've been on this for a little bit, but just people that are looking to jump, make that next move, or people that want to get into acting specifically, what would you drop on them?
Man, do it. Like, man, don't let nobody tell you that you shouldn't do it, that you should be on something else, or that there's too many people out there doing it. Man, there's too many examples of success and light for you to be sitting in the darkness and the fear. There's too many examples of the love out there. Latch on to that love. Latch on to those people and those examples and those things that are going well, and forget about the things that seem like failures, because you don't know if it's a failure. Like, I get a lot of people always asking me, man, should I move out to LA? I'm like, yes. Do you want to move to LA? Yeah, then move to LA. But what about this? And somebody told me this, and my people told me, do you want to do it? If you want to do something, then you need to do it.
But there also has to be something said about doing things in order, though. Because, I mean, we can't just be yes man and be like, oh, boom. Like, yeah, that sounds great. You got 2 bands to your name. You want to quit your job and do what? Nothing? Yeah, go figure it out.
Do it. Listen, I came up from a practical background. Like, I have a very pragmatic background. I had a paper route when I was 12. That's 365 days a year in the snow in Peoria, Illinois, delivering papers. Meaning, like, even when I had company that, like, you know, slept over the night, like play cousins and friends, I had to still get up. And then I was about to call them something. Them fools didn't help me deliver them papers. I had to get up every day and do that. And I remember when I got enough money to buy a pair of Jordans. I worked maybe 2 weeks to get this $150. And I was like, ain't no doggone way I'm finna spend this 2 weeks pay on no Jordans. Like, yo, I worked too hard. So the way I think works for me. That's why, because I worked so much when I was coming up, it made sense for me to go from Peoria to Chicago. That's my personality. That's what works for me. It might be totally different for somebody else. I would never tell nobody to do it the way I did it. Don't do it the way I did it, because you're not me. Let's figure out what works for you. For some people, it's best just to go straight to LA. It's best to go straight to Atlanta. It's best to go straight to, New York. You feel what I'm saying? So when I get phone calls or I get text messages and things like that, I don't just give people like a one size fits all hat. You know what I mean? It's got to be a fitted cap. We got to figure out exactly what's your size, what works for you. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. We got a couple questions. I want to jump into them before we hit the lightning round. Was filming during the parallelogram? This man crazy, man. Was that different? And if so, how so?
It was a lot different, man. Crazy enough. Listen, man. When you get on a set, HB parallelogram. When you get on a set with stars like that, man, you do want to learn from them. Lil Rel. I mean, Lil Rel is one of my favorite comedians of all time, straight up. You know what I mean? And I'm not putting him like in the top 10. I'm just saying of all time, he's one of my favorites because I get his voice. Chicago, all of that. So when you get there, you want to be in the presence of these guys and learn from them. But man, when we was in this whole, paying pizza, it's like 6 feet, mask on. It's hard to connect with a brother when you got a mask and you got 6 feet and they're telling you don't congregate. We didn't have a lot of the normal things like a table read. We did things over Zoom. all that type of stuff. So you know what? It was tougher to get a lot of the camaraderie going. But I think that just made us dig deeper into the characters and really take advantage of the time we had on set. We weren't chilling too much. We were like, yo, how does this scene work? How can we make this funnier? How can we get this going? So I think Vacation Friends turned out well, but I would have liked to have filmed it without that. Because otherwise, man, actors get to go out at night. We go kick it. We was in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Man, I ain't get to kick it in Atlanta, you know what I mean? So it wasn't the same.
Shanae wants to know what has been your favorite role and why.
Shanae, man, my favorite role, I would say right now, my favorite role has still been a play I did. I did a play at the Goodman Theater back in like 2018 in the summer called Father Comes Home from the Wars, Parts 1, 2, and 3. By Suzanne Laurie Parks, and she's amazing. She's a genius. And I played a Civil War enslaved African, not a slave, but an African man who had been enslaved here in America, which was important to differentiate in our process. And I played him, and his master gives him the choice to stay and not fight in the Civil War on behalf of the South, or fight on behalf of the South with him and get his freedom. And that simple question of what does it mean to be free and who can give you freedom is a 3-hour play. And I had a phenomenal experience doing that at the Goodman Theater in Chicago. So it's today it still resonates with me.
That's dope. Your frat brother, Andre Allen, wants to know, what do you miss about the P?
Man, woo. You know what? It was crazy. That's a good one. What's up, frat? Man, I miss the nostalgia of the P, man. Like, it's easy to be like, the P ain't what it used to be or whatever, but that's not true. I mean, look, I just saw Miss Thomas. That's a beautiful representation of progress. Progression moving forward. So I just kind of miss being in there and being in the mix. That's what I really truly miss about it. But if my childhood and high school years in the P, man, it was something serious back in the day. I'm one of them old heads now, so I remember going down University on a Friday night, and it felt like I was in Vegas. I felt like I was on the Strip going down University. You know what I'm saying? Four deep in the whip, pulling up to a stoplight, seeing who in the other car, find out it's 4 of the dudes looking back at you. But still, going to Landmark, rolling up in Landmark, hitting the bowling alley, like, man, we made the most out of the P back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I really used to miss was the Gus Macker.
Oh yeah,
Gus fire.
Yeah.
When the Gus used to hit the town, man, the city went up. The city went up. That and Manual Central games back in the day.
Oh yeah. At Bradley too. The ones at Bradley. Yeah.
At the Field House, bruh. They went up. Then you hit the McDonald's on Western afterwards, bruh. Parking lot, pissing them for a minute. Man, it went up. Yeah.
And last question. Man, HB already got a question. I'm gonna let him get another one in just because you're from the town and he know. Do you think the paper route days helped help play a role in your adult work ethic?
Of course, man. You know what's funny, man, is there was this kid. I used to deliver my papers, man. There used to be this kid that would come out and talk to me every morning.
At 5 in the morning?
At 5 in the morning, this kid will come out and talk about any and everything. This kid was like, it was like a little robot. Like, he had a brain that would just compute any topic. Like, I'd be like, yeah, man, that's cool, man. Sega's dope. And then all of a sudden he'd be on shoes. I'd be like, oh, okay, you got an interesting thing about shoes. Then he'd be talking about lions. You're like, oh, you must have been watching Discovery Channel. Cool. All right. And next it'll be an hour. I'm like, yo, I got to deliver these papers, little man. That little man's name was HB. That dude.
Wow.
HB will come out every morning, man. But quick little thing about that though is interesting because I delivered papers in Peoria. Let's keep it real. I'm gonna pull a Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna talk.
Go ahead.
Peoria was about 19% black. I ain't got the air conditioner on in this hot apartment, so I'm sweating. It was about 19% black when I was growing up. So where I live, where I was delivering papers, is majority white, right? And so there was some interesting things that would happen in terms of the interaction between me and my customers working for the Journal Star, as a paper boy. And sometimes, listen, positive. The older people would want you to come in their house. They didn't care. They were white. I was a young black boy. They needed somebody to talk to. And I learned a lot of skills from that. Coming into some of these houses, and I learned how to control conversations. Because if I didn't, I would be talking to Miss Mabel or whoever it was, Miss Martha, for 3 or 4 hours, and she would not let me go because she has nobody else to talk to. So I learned the art of conversation by going into these houses. When I need to collect my money, I need to get my money and get out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I learned the art of conversation. I learned how to listen, how to be attentive, how to pay attention to what people are saying and what really matters to them. You know what I mean? And figure out what matters to them so I could recall it when I came back to see them the next time and hopefully expedite that conversation a little bit. You know what I mean? But I learned a lot with that. Collecting money, seeing how people would dodge you, how you had it's $5.80, but man, it would be something serious to some of them people. You feel me? So I learned a lot. I learned a lot at like 12 years old.
Dope. And exclusive, you know him as well too, so I'm gonna let him get a question in before we hit the lightning round. And he asked a real exclusive question.
That only people...
It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right if he didn't, I think. Who's the finest actress you've worked with thus far?
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna put it like this. I've worked with some very, 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 very beautiful women. And I'm just gonna go with my last project. I'm not gonna say she's the finest, but she's a beautiful, she's a gorgeous woman. Yvonne Orgy, she was gorgeous, man. In real life, just absolutely striking, But like I said, I'm ascending, So I hope to continue to work with more and more beautiful actresses, just to be in the presence of beauty and talent. I don't get on there and try to shoot my shot or nothing like that. But it is kind of cool when you see like a beautiful person that you used to just like seeing on television. It's like to be in their presence, like, wow, it's really cool. Now I get to see who you are as a person, So that was kind of cool with Yvonne, though.
Hopefully next time you can say me along. We gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see.
Yeah, I got a few on my list. I got a few on my list I want to work with. You know what I mean? Name
those real quick, and we'll hit the light. Who do you want to work with? Men and women.
Oh man, most definitely, man. I want to work with Giancarlo Esposito. That's the brother from like School Days and Breaking Bad. I want to work with Denzel. I want to work with Nicole Bahari. She's man. You look her up if you don't know Nicole Bahari, man. She's fantastic. I got a long list, man, but those are the people off the top of my head right now. Michael T. Williamson. I want to work with Michael T. Williamson. I think he's somebody that I can learn a lot from. I would love to work with Leonardo DiCaprio too, and Tom Hardy.
Oh
yeah. I would love to pick their brains and be opposite them. But yeah, back in the day, I wanted to work with Sidney Poitier. When I thought that he was going to get back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too many talented, beautiful actresses out there for me to name all of them right now.
Fire. Okay, look. So we're gonna get into the lightning round. Brought to you by Illinois American Water. People talk about Dasani, they talk about Fiji, they talk about Core Light. No, look, the water is Illinois American Water. That's the water. That is the water. And they are bringing and sponsoring this lightning round that we finna get into with Kamal right now. Now, are you familiar with the lightning round?
I'm not. I'm nervous.
No. So don't be, look, man, you a master at this. Look, all it is rapid fire questions, rapid fire answers. First thing that come to your mind, that's the truth. That's what we're looking for. The first thing, that's the truth, say it. And I'm about to give you.
This is how people get in trouble right here. Okay.
It's depending on your situation. Depending on your situation. But you should be straight. You should be straight. You ain't got no contractual obligations, do you?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You all right? Yeah, you all right? Yeah, you all right? All right, so look, man, we've been on so long, my light done went out. I ain't doing this with you no more. I ain't doing, man. Look, the lightning round, I lost my light. I done lost my light.
You need to get sponsored by Amarin next time. Make sure them lights stay on.
All right, look. I'm finna put a minute 50 on the clock, and we gonna get to it. Are you ready?
All right.
Boom. Greatest actor of all time, in your opinion. Greatest actor of all time.
Denzel Washington.
Does Kyrie play for the Nets this year? Does Kyrie stay on the Nets this year? No. Wow. $500K or dinner with Jay?
$500K.
Is Lil Wayne in your top 5?
Say what?
Is Lil Wayne in your top 5?
Yes.
Cat Williams or Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Drums or flat?
Drums are flat.
You
I'm flat-footed, so I gotta go with Nike. Yeah.
I got you on that. Drums or flats for wings?
Flats all day, bro. Drum ain't nothing but gristle.
Will Smith or Jamie Foxx?
Woo! What we talking about? Acting?
We talking. We just talking.
Man, I mean, Jamie got them hits though. You know, he ain't got nothing but nah.
He do.
He got
acting and then overall, because they both did movies and music. Well, who you got?
I'm gonna go with who I'm gonna work with next. I'm gonna probably end up working with Will Smith. So I'm gonna say Will Smith.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
My mom.
If you weren't chasing your dreams of being an actor, what would you be doing?
I'd be owning a business, like real estate or something.
Now that hurts. Okay. New York or LA?
LA. All day.
LA, okay. Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
That quick? I thought it was gonna take you a little longer.
Nah, I cry like a big dog every time. It don't matter what happens. It could be anywhere in the movie. I'm gonna cry. Done.
Man, we ran out. Look, Michael Jackson or Prince? Michael Jackson or Prince?
Mike Jack.
Martin or Fresh Prince?
Fresh Prince.
You got 10 grand. You can spend it in one store. Where you going?
Oh man, I'm going to the. I gotta go to a store.
Where you in general? Where you going?
Dollar store.
Bro, it's gonna take forever, bro. You tweaking.
I gotta spend it all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm buying the store then. That's how your money make money. I'm hotepery with mine, baby. I'm hotepping it with mine. I'm about to buy the store.
All right, dog. Look, this ain't a part of the lightning round, but I was gonna ask you this question anyway. This is what we was talking about off air. But I was thinking, so look, when I saw Keys to the City, I didn't even know it was gonna be on. I was just like scrolling, like, and your face popped up. Your face on my TV. I gotta click play every time. I gotta hit play every time. Why you let that girl beat your tail like that, fam? You got drug in the kitchen, fam. I'm standing up yelling, like, bro, come on, get out, come on, get out.
First of all, man, she had ungodly, unhuman strength. If you notice, she was really about 14 pounds soaking wet. I love that girl who played Felicia, who played the I forgot the girl's name in the movie, but her real name is Felicia Cooper. She's really about 14 pounds soaking wet. But skinny people be having that like crackhead strength for some reason. They got that extra superhuman strength. So I mean, it wasn't nothing I can do. And when a woman is scorned, even when she crazy scorned, meaning like I didn't do nothing, I didn't scorn her, but she feels scorned, then it don't really matter. They can lift a car for a human being. They can do anything. I try. Hey, I'm the only one that got my butt beat though, man. The dude who played my brother Chopper Zoe, you see how he got dragged?
Oh man, he got murdered. What you mean drug? He got killed. Talk about drug. It was terrible. It was terrible. Hey,
she went in on her. I think she was the only light-skinned person in the movie too. Y'all didn't even catch that.
So.
It was deep.
I think so. Yeah. Facts. Facts. Yeah.
She got all the common people. She hemmed
I
up
was like, bro, your daddy came. This is a good movie. If y'all haven't seen Keys to the City, he got the poster hanging up in the background to the right, left, depending on how you look. Go catch that. And real quick, your pitch for people to watch Vacation Friends on Hulu.
Watch it. It's funny, man. It's hilarious. I mean, I watched it myself and I was like, oh, this is hilarious. So, man, you just want a good time, not have to think a lot. Watch that movie, man. I'm in it.
On Hulu, man. Come on. Actor from the streets of the P to the halls at Bradley to Nashville with the cars, and now he New York to LA traveling. Got posters in the background for all his accomplishments, man. Appreciate you coming on the Rap Politics. It's been one. I appreciate it. All the bars you dropped as well, too. This is dope. This is definitely dope.
Hey, I got a question to ask you, though. Who's the inspiration for that beard, though?
Anthony Hamilton.
Nah. You sure, man? Listen. You sure it ain't the Cosby? You got that Uptown Saturday Night.
Hey, man, look.
Cosby beard, bro.
Look, I didn't know about that. Didn't think about that. But honestly, it's a combination of Anthony Hamilton and the pandemic. I didn't get no haircut. Look, I didn't get no haircut all pandemic. Well, you couldn't. And then, like, for the at first, it bothered. I was like, man, look, Nas said it. You wouldn't know me without when I keep a fresh cut. But it's like after what? Because like it started crawling on my lips. And I'm like, bro. Then it started getting the food. You got to learn how to eat different. But then over time, it just became what I look like. Nappy headed. A bunch, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just and look, you see me with it cut. I think you was there in my trip and the days run together. You was at Brandon wedding, right?
Yeah, of course.
I cut my hair for that. I don't know if you remember. My face wasn't like this.
No.
I cut it one time and it was for Brandon's wedding.
That's crazy because I didn't even notice, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to come across like I don't
care. I cut it one time. It was for Brandon's wedding. And I tell you this, and Tron is my witness, bro. When I got up out the seat, I regretted it. I was like, I ain't doing this no more. I was like, I ain't doing this no more.
Like that's your power right now.
Well, I thought about cutting it last week, and I'll probably cut it again eventually. But at that time, I was like, some days I'm like, bro,
it's definitely you now. It's definitely you.
It's what I look like now. Like some days I'm like, I'm finna get rid of this. Some days like, it just is what it is. Like,
okay,
it is.
Oh, one last question though.
Go ahead.
Donda or CLB?
Ooh, I meant to ask you. I meant to ask you that. So you got to answer too. I'm gonna say this, and I'm on record saying this. Anybody who watches Rap Politics knows this. What I think about it. I'm not gonna say that Donda is better, but I can say that I listen to Donda more. I'll say this too, though. CLB got some hits. And I never like Drake when Drake drops. Whenever Drake drops, I go listen to old Drake because I never get my feel for what I thought I was going to get. Kanye instantaneously gave me what I thought I was looking for out of Donda. Like instantly. Everybody was complaining about the Donda. At the beginning, I got it. I understood it. If my mom died, I'd be saying Vic, Vic, Vic. You know what I'm saying? Like it was what it was. But so Kanye gave me instant gratification with his album. Drake is like, I know this is Drake, but I was looking for it. There's a couple tracks, like obviously Knife Talk is like, it's instant. And let me tell you this, anybody that's watching, Knife Talk, Drake has, if you got the right version, and when he first comes in, he's like, I heard Poppy outside, and he got that double R droppy outside. In that in that quick 8-bar, whatever it is, he says, I'm gonna have him dropping like some flies. But on the real version, the title version, I'm a big fan of the title, he leaves out flies. He doesn't say flies. He said, I have him dropping like some type of, they can't look me in my, he skips flies, doesn't say the word flies at all. Changes the entire song, fam. Go check it out. It's on title. If you ain't got it, I'll get it to you off air. When he skips flies, it sounds 30 times better, fam. Wow. But I say I listen to Donda more.
Are you sure your
No, fam, I'm paid up. Don't talk about my lights. I'm paid. It's not the same. I'm gonna send it to you. It's not the same.
I'm with you. When it comes to Donda, I didn't like it at first. I listened to the second time, which is crazy. I listened to the second time, and I was filled with so many different things. With Certified Lover Boy, with anything Drake does, man, Drake is gonna give me consistent, target level stuff. Like I know when I go into Target, I'm gonna get what I need, but I don't go into Target hype. You see what I'm saying? But there's times I go into other stores and it's like, some of these clothes is a little weird. You know what Drake remind me of Zara. Drake is he's like a Zara.
No, but explain Zara for the people that live in Peoria, because we ain't even got no Burners no more. So you gotta explain Zara.
I got you.
We ain't got no Macy's.
Zara is a Spanish company. It's actually based in Spain, but it's fast fashion. But it's some of the top of the line fast fashion. So it's clothes that they're gonna have out on the rack, and after 2 weeks, it's never coming back. They always creating something new, but it's actually pretty good quality. It's just very safe. It's nice. It's a little edgy here and there, a little frill, a little ruffle, but it's safe. You feel?
Is it safe to say it's like the ball main of H&M?
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I feel like that's Drake's music. Like I'm never gonna, come at him because he's consistently just good. But I feel like in Kanye, even when Kanye misses, I feel something. Even when he misses, like Yeezus, yeah. I'm like, you made me think, you made me feel something. I'm just not, I feel like Kanye is coming. It's just like his shoes. I mean, you look at any of his fashion, you like, but then you get there, you're like, oh, that's kind of a cold design.
Man. I mean, Kanye can really do whatever on the fashion tip. And it's crazy. It's funny that you say that, because Drake, he is kind of like Zara, I guess you could say. But goatish at the same time. It's weird, but I think CLB is one of those things that a year from now it's gonna be exactly what you wanted. Like he has that thing for me to where, like, when the only thing that I felt instantly was nothing was the same. And if you're reading this, is too late. If you're reading this, is too late to me is like classic Drake, like not even classic, like really on top of his square Drake. That didn't take care. But when Views came out, I didn't like it. But then I went to Toronto, and then I listened to Views, and Views was it. Like I went to Toronto and then played Views. Oh man! But even Scorpion, it's like when Scorpion came out, I went back to Views. It's I don't know. It's something weird about that.
This is the reason I don't put Drake. I put Drake up there as one of the greatest of all time, seriously. But the reason
he is.
He's like you say, he's goaty. He goatish. But the thing about Drake is, even when I go back, I'd never get that Jay-Z type of feel where I hear a bar and I go, oh, I didn't even catch that. For some reason, Drake, he's so good at getting us to catch it the first time around. But when it comes to replay value, I never hear a Drake bar and go back and be like, man, Drake crazy for that. Jay-Z, I always go back and I go, oh. And maybe that's just because I'm standing on Jay-Z, like it's a stand effect or whatever. Like it's like seeing Picasso or Basquiat, and but that's a signal of great art when I could go back to it and see something different. And I don't see anything different with Drake when I go back.
You know what? That's a point.
I just don't. He's so emotionally involved in his work that once he spills it to me, which takes a great effort and great artistry, I get it. I get it the first time, and I'm good. And when I go back to it, there's nothing else to get.
So which one is better, being able to artistically and like very craftedly, if you can say that, like be able to get it out the right way to where everybody can get it the first time? Because that's a different type of craftness in itself. Or to be able to have almost minds buried in the ground to where 10 years from now, y'all finna feel this.
That's what Kanye is doing. And I kind of feel like he's ahead of the time. Jay-Z, same way with bars, not with songs, bars. But musically, Kanye does that. He'll like Yeezus, people will start doing that stuff like 4 years later. They start doing stuff on Yeezus. You feel me?
Well, the thing about Kanye is, even My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that could drop today and still be 8 years ahead. That could drop tonight.
That was nasty.
8 years ahead.
That was a nasty album right there. That was filthy.
Crazy. And what I didn't realize, what was so hard, I think I reluctantly say, not reluctantly, but cautiously say, that's one of top maybe 50 favorite Ross verses on Dublin. I mean, because Ross doesn't get all the props he deserves, but he also mentioned I forgot what song it was. He said, not a trophy on the mantle, but I got a phantom. Like, I don't care what y'all thinking about it. I still got the bag, and I'm still one of the hottest out doing it.
Well, you know, one of my favorite Ross bars that I felt was over a decade and never nobody's favorite.
Man, same thing. Same thing. It's the same approach. And then another thing I quote all the time is, babies be having babies. I'm talking about how I grind.
Yeah.
That was hard. That was hard. But the thing is, Drake, though, unfortunately for him, even though he won the Meek Mill war, that put a unreversible smudge on his record when it comes to writing and creativity. Like, at the end of the day, now it will always be, you can say go, and people are, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you ain't lying, but it's still like, how much of that was him? And unfortunately for him, you got people like, because you talk about Jay, I truly believe in the depths of my soul, nobody ever wrote for Jay. Maybe they might have said, instead of saying, you know, this, maybe say it backwards. You know what I'm saying? You might have had a little bit of that. Nobody wrote for Jay. Nobody's writing for Rick Ross. Nobody wrote for 2 Chainz. We know nobody's writing for Gucci. But we know that. And Gucci will still, he doesn't have that smudge on his record though. But Wayne and Drake both have it. Yeah. Which is interesting. And we all know what Nicki was doing, but that's interesting in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. It really is, because you know, you have it makes you, like you said, take into account their whole discography and start to look at it a little bit differently and try to figure out what parts of them felt authentic to you. And the thing about somebody writing for you is they established the foundation. Like you said, what was the first one? Another was the same, or whatever it was. Like all his mixtape Drake, I love mixtape Drake, first of all. But he wrote all that stuff at the beginning, and then he found writers that could write like him.
Yeah, yeah.
So he established the game. He just like, I ain't got time to write. So write, like, figure out how I think, figure out what I want to talk about, send me some stuff, and then I'll say it. I got it. I mean, that's just the business mind that he got. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really take too much away from him on that. I really
from a business standpoint, and like I said, from a business standpoint, you could kind of see where that could come from. It's like, I'm bossed up, so I don't cut the lettuce anymore. I run the restaurant. I find somebody else to cut the lettuce, but you still appreciate me for the salad. But it's like, this is Jay's salad though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was the same. And what's weird though is that we don't give that type of criticism to R&B singers, because we know a ton of people write for Beyonce, but she's still goated.
Yeah. It's a different medium. I mean, that was established from the beginning. Hip hop had different roots from the beginning. You know, I mean, it was all about authenticity. It was all about speaking very, very muscularly from your heart. You know what I'm saying? And so your words, everything was, like they said, word is bond. Everything that comes from you got to know it came from me. That wasn't the case when it came to singing, because singing is all about the voice. That vessel. So it's like, I don't care who wrote that. If Donny Hathaway singing it, I don't care if it's Donny Hathaway. You know what I mean? It's Luther, Luther, Big Luther. You know what I mean? So it's different. But I think I'm with you as a rap purist. I do. It is a smudge to me. I'm not gonna lie. It is a smudge to me when I find out that you didn't write, because I understand we're in this like race to become the next billionaire. You know, Diddy and Jay-Z and Kanye and everybody wants to get their money on, but that's not, I'm paying for your CD, or I used to. I'm paying for the subscription service. I'm coming to the concerts. I'm giving you money. I just need you to do what you do. Forget owning 16,000 wing stops and all this other stuff. Like, I'm not trying to tell you to don't get your paper, but we feeding you. You know, and I think right now everybody's still trying to become the next billionaire. And I think that's kind of part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think that's kind of part of the problem is that I'm not trying to limit anybody's growth, but like for Jay-Z, his whole mantra, his whole essence right now is like, everybody needs to level up off of rap. But I love a 3,000 3K, because it's like, I'm a musician. Yeah, so I'm on a track. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, and then even in 3K will pass up a ton of opportunity and a ton of money just because 3K the type, like, you passed up $1 million for a single show. I haven't been feeling myself lately, so I'm just kind of in a weird space where, my room was dirty. Like, bro, what? Like, I couldn't find no shoes.
But can you fathom what type of power that is?
Oh yeah,
what kind of knowledge of self that is, to not be to not even be fettered. He's nonplussed when it comes to money. He's nonplussed.
No.
He's not fussed about it. You know what I'm saying? That's where we want to get to, is that financial freedom, so you can become free through everything else. And that doesn't mean you got to have $3 million in your bank account to be there. It's a state of mind. And I feel like 3K has always been in that. He's 3,000. Like, I'm in that state of mind. Like, I'm not run by that. You know what I mean? Same thing with Lauren Hill.
Lauren Hill, you know who else is there? Like, for real, and stepped into that is Cole.
Yeah.
Cole will legit come through in some Crocs and some sweats and give you his whole first album, family, and you finna show up, you finna sell it out, and you gonna like it.
Yeah.
And he's gonna drop when he feels like he wants to drop, and then it just is what it is.
And he's gonna be honest about his feelings within doing it too. You know,
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel like that's like emo or whatever, but I appreciate that as an artist, somebody who could talk about those things that go on behind the scenes or go on within a person when everybody just sees you on stage and thinks you're living a life. It's like, I'm still a human being, and I'm reflective of what's going on around me too. And I think that's why Kendrick Lamar takes time off. That's why he takes time off, man. People are healthy, and you brought up Kyrie. I got to give it to him. Listen, Kyrie, he be Kyrieing a lot. I'll be like, dog, Kyrie.
And he's a dog. And it's like,
But at the same time, I'm like, I feel that, man. If somebody said, hey, this is what we about to do, or we all checked up, everybody checked up, and then we get later and they say, nah, we need you to go and get this other check. That's not what we agreed to. I'm standing on my principle as a man. He's weird, but I get what he stands on. You know what I'm saying? And he's not going to sacrifice that for a team. He's not going to play that whole game of like, yo, y'all want me to buy into the team, knowing doggone well they'll trade you or sit down on you any moment, any given moment. So he's not going to be romanticized by this whole like team structure, like just do it for the team, because he's smarter than that.
We're going to see what happens, man. I got you on record saying that he ain't going to come back. We going to see. We going to see.
He stands to lose $17 million off top. You know what I mean? And that's for just getting the vaccine. That really, he's standing on principle. It ain't even about like he's going to die from it. You notice he's never said he doesn't believe in the vaccine or anything. He's like, that's just not for me. Yeah,
facts. And he said it's not a political thing. I'm not against vaccine. I'm not against people that get it, but I just don't feel like getting it right now. And $17 million really doesn't change my life too much. So I'm decent. I'm decent. I'm decent. It is what it is. I got a 3-year-old that got to eat, bro. Hey, look. Appreciate the time, of course. I might have to do this from now on. We do the lightning round, and we're going to do the lights off round. You inspired me. You inspired me. When the light go off, we just rap.
You're welcome.
Hey, man, no, you definitely credit it. Definitely got to look you up next time I'm in LA. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. Take care.
That was Kamal in our brand new segment. I guess we're starting to call the lights off round. But the lightning round is brought to you by American Water. And, of course, Rap Politics in general is brought to you by Sherman's, where they carry the best in appliances, mattresses, and furniture. They also sponsor Sophisticated Ratchet, which we appreciate them for greatly. And they are hiring. ShermansCareers.com. You can check out their openings and apply online. It's been a long one. Appreciate y'all rocking with us on Rap Politics. Make sure you subscribe to the PJ Star. Got all your information regarding the town and the surrounding area. PJstar.com. Get your subscription. I think it's for the Ella right now, so you can log in. Because I know y'all be trying to click on some of them articles and be like, bro, you didn't have your 3 already. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get that and make sure we contribute to solid journalism. Appreciate y'all rocking with Rap Politics, man. I'm gone.